Wow, this weather is really pleasant. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit. Must be like 75 degrees, 72 degrees. Pretty nice. Just way cooler than it normally is here in July, that's for sure. I want to show you this horrible, horrible street. I've done some clips on this street here before. It's just so depressing. This is one of the ways I walk home from a tramway near where I live, and it's just so noisy and so grungy. And a lot of these buildings are going to be replaced shortly, but they're sure still here for the moment. So I was just thinking, you know, I'm looking for full-time, serious, heavy, good-paying work, of course, in Paris, or right around Paris, because a lot of the business things of Paris don't take place right in central Paris anymore. They might be in places such as Ile-de-France or Seine-Saint-Denis. But anyway, as much as, you know, working in Paris proper has its appeal, its cachet, and I did that for years and years at various places. It's a commute every day, and it's a grind, and it's expensive to find a place to eat your lunch, and if you carry your lunch, it's expensive to find a place to sit and have your lunch. It could be, really. And so an alternative, if you come to live and work in a place such as Paris, France, is you would probably end up living, if you're lucky, in a near suburb, such as what I do, where you will find much better prices and rents and cost of living, and where you're still on the Paris metro system, and you can still take a bus into Paris, you could ride a bike into Paris, you could walk into Paris, of course you can drive a car into Paris if you're crazy. Out here in the near suburbs, it's not very glamorous, and where I was just now, I would say in Le Blanc-Menil, it looked to be about, I'm going to use old-fashioned terms, about 50% white, about 30% Indian, East Indian. A lot of people speak Tamil out there, I noticed, and about 20% black, which is good. That's a very good mix. But the lady who interviewed me said, you know, it doesn't bother you out here, does it? And I looked at her and I thought to myself, well, you know, this ain't exactly the Champs-Élysées, but I've worked on the Champs-Élysées many times and I hated it. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. I looked at her and I said, you know, it reminds me of where I live in Saint-Denis. And she said, well, actually, it's quite a safe area around here. I said, yeah, I can see all these people with their children. I see this as a very family place, a lot of babies and small children and elderly people, and everybody seems to be very friendly, and that's always a good sign. So, you know, as far as finding work out here, really, I've had such a hard time finding work in France since the dot-com bubble burst in 2000. You know, I've only been able to find short-term contracts, part-time things, and when I have found a lot of work, it's been this total feast and famine thing, and I haven't been able to program or plan time off or anything for my personal life. I've had to just work while the work was there and while the money was there. And that's not always very pleasant. It's kind of demoralizing, in fact. And I've had these incredibly slow periods. I mean, really, several periods at a time. Several periods. I mean, several years. Excuse me, I'm tired. It's about 7:30 in the evening now, and I've been out for about 4.5 hours. See how noisy this is here? Well, today certainly was interesting, and we'll see what happens with my husband, who I still love, and I still think he's very sexy, and I've sort of mentioned this with him. He's not the sort of person who wants to talk about heavy things, and he wishes I were dead, frankly. He wishes I would just go away. A lot of people wish I would just go away. Okay, see you later.